Good morning, dreamers. It is day 8, and congratulations, you have made it already through a whole week of praying for your business. Whether you've been a little bit behind or still haven't checked in with a buddy, it's totally fine. What's not It's not important that you're going through the book with us. It's important that you're praying. So even if that looks different, um, that's totally okay. Um, So today is about wellness. And oh, one more housekeeping thing. I have the new pinned post, if you'll check it out. Um, it has a couple of things. So if you haven't really been able to get in touch with your buddy yet, or you just don't know where they are or whatever and want to be repaired with a buddy, rematched, comment there. There's still one or two people that still need buddies. What else? Yeah, and then just check in there. Let me know how you're doing, how it's going. Sorry, I'm gonna try to prop up so it's a little bit easier to hold. So yeah, keep that in mind and share with us. Also, we're sharing our favorite movies because that's just fun. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and say the surprise so that I don't forget at the end. But there will be a giveaway today. I wanted to try to, or at least over the next couple of days, I wanted to try to work in some fun stuff too throughout the experience. So keep your eyes open for a post later today about the giveaway and how to participate. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so the prayer today was about wellness. Hey, Jen. And I'm gonna be honest, this one really, again, it's one of those I feel like I underline all of the things in here, but there was one paragraph that really, 1.5 paragraphs that really, really got me. When it says, I confess that I easily lose focus, Father. I get distracted, stop listening for your voice, and leave the door open for the spirit of anxiety and stress to come and steal my peace, health, wholeness, and prosperity in you. In my anxiety and stress, I run to empty, broken places for false comfort, food, drink, exercise, and entertainment. The pace of this world is getting faster, and I can't keep pace on its treadmill anymore. I'm jumping off. I want to hear your voice saying, come this way. I think to me that's really big because I do get distracted. I see everything else as more immediate. It's kind of like somebody else was saying this yesterday, that they had put a lot of other things in front of this for the time being because they were doing a lot of stuff. And in that way, that's sort of the enemy's way of distracting us from doing what really matters. So I think we do this in our businesses too. Sometimes we work on all the little things that don't actually matter because they make us feel better instead of focusing on the things that maybe are a little uncomfortable but actually help us in our businesses. But I think it's because we do this in life and in business. It's both, right? We do all of it. We go for what feels good instead of letting God grow us through those experiences. And I think that's challenging. That's challenging for me. I get that. Even when I think about how I do things or what I do, I tend to gravitate towards things that don't require a lot of growth because growth is hard. I tend to gravitate toward the things that I'm already naturally good at, so they take a little less effort, take a little less focus, and I don't have to worry about it as much or work at it as much, so it takes less of my time, so I can do more things. But really, it's the more things that is holding me back from doing the things that maybe matter most. So, for example, there was a season in my business, I think this was late May or June, and I was really, I was preparing to go on my mission trip and my trip for most of June, and so I was pushing really, really hard. So I stopped exercising, I was getting up, I was doing all the work, and then going to work because I was still completely full-time at my job, and I was preparing for my trip, trying to do that spiritually, but not doing that super well because I was just exhausted. And it was just one of those seasons that was high stress and it yielded low results. And And that's because I didn't feel well either. I think we are very much connected to our results physically. Like if we won't even take care of ourselves, how can we take care of other people through our business? I think it really does affect. And so I think that's why one of the things that I wrote down to focus on was, again, my physical wellness, because that's something I really need more help in, because I know that when I take care of my body, I am also taking care of my mind in that moment. One of the other things that I really loved in this prayer that I hadn't really thought of before was, and I don't know why I didn't think of that, but it said, help me to care like you for my whole life, my heart, my mind, my soul, and my body as an act of undying worship to you, my King. And I think I had never really thought about God caring about my body. Like, I know my body's a temple, I need to take care of it, but when you think about God's love, you don't think about it extending necessarily to your physical being, unless you're really struggling there. And that really just was like, oh, if God cares about my body like he does my mind and my stress level and my work, why don't, those things that I care about and work really hard to care about, why don't I care about that too? So that really hit me. I didn't really realize that. I don't know why I never thought of it that way. So of course God cares about my body. He gave it to me. He put it all together. He stitched me together just the way he wanted, and I haven't necessarily been taking care of it. Especially over the last couple of months, I've really put junk in it and not worked out because I was too busy. It's that busy thing. And it's that should. It's the shoulds. It said the world was shoulding all over me, and that's so true. I should be a good wife, and I should be a good, church devoted woman, and I should be a good business person, and I should be, a good friend and coworker, and should be doing my job well. There's just all these shoulds, and those things took control even over my spiritual life, that I wasn't paying as much attention spiritually because I was busy doing the work that I thought God had called me to do, that I wasn't actually spending time with God. So that's a big warning from me to you. Don't do that. I even had, when I went to seminary for a little bit, I had a professor who told a story about when he was in seminary and he had actually gone to the Dead Sea and was floating in it, and sort of got taken out a little too far. And as he was swimming, trying to just get back to the shore, he kept thinking, God, why are you going to let me die before I even get to serve you? And he survived, obviously, because he's teaching, but he then said, don't let preparing to serve God or even serving God keep you from actually being with him or actually serving him. And that just really stuck with me. I mean, that was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and that really sticks with you. We are often doing the things that God called us to do, or preparing to do those things, because preparing can even take a lot of time. But sometimes in pursuing our calling, we forget to turn to God in that, and that can be that's a challenge. So even just thinking about that and how we serve, and in order to serve at our highest capacity, which is my thing, you've probably heard it every day now, it is to also incorporate, heart, soul, body, and business. It's all of those things. That's how we do this and do it well. So we need to be better stewards of not just our time, talent, and treasure, but also the other things he's given us, like our bodies. So that's one thing I'm learning. My favorite verse out of here was the first one, 1 Thessalonians 5:23. May God himself, the God who makes everything holy and whole, make you holy and whole, put you together, spirit, soul, and body, and keep you fit for the coming of our Master Jesus Christ. That's what I'm really going to focus on, is being holy and whole. I think sometimes I focus on one or the other a lot of times, and to the detriment of the other. And instead, I need to focus on being holy and whole. In fact, Maria, yesterday I mentioned that I wanted to start exercising again. It's something that I needed to do. And she immediately volunteered to be my accountability buddy. And she's going to text me in a little less than 3 hours to see if I did. So I'm going to right after this. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I may just go to the gym and see what happens. But anyway, so that's one of the things that I'm working on, to be a better steward and care for my body the way that God cares for my body. I've been better about eating good stuff this week. I've been much more conscious of that. I feel like last week I was just really tired and realizing that food and drink may have something to do with that for me. And so I've been adjusting that this week. But then also the things that I mentioned yesterday that I'm working in for wellness. The prayer is obviously very important, and even just those other ways of resting so that it's not full on laziness or that it's escapism, but instead that it's productive rest time that really refreshes and recharges. So those are the things that I'm working on. And just considering how God wants me to care for my whole self, and figuring out how that will work into my schedule. Not just for when I go full time, but when I have, like, over these next 3 or 4 weeks, as I'm still in this weird phase, finding a way to do both of those things without overwhelming myself. So that's really a big focus for me too. It might be easier next week actually, because I've got different days that I'll be here at home. So it'll be a little more spread out. Anyway, it's been really nice chatting with you guys. Keep your eyes open for the giveaway later, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of your biggest takeaways on the pinned post. So be sure to jump in and tell me what you're learning, and tell me if you need a new buddy, or brag on your buddy, because I've seen a lot of that too, and that's really, really exciting to see how God worked through what felt very random to create pairs that actually were perfect for each other. So I'm so excited about that. So jump in, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later.